6:56. Oh shit, it went out. Goddamn. 6:56. 12/28. 2022. 2022 just happens to add up to 6. In November 9, which like upside down 6, I made 66. So, am I the devil? No, I am not the devil. Numbers have everything and nothing to do with what you call the devil. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about Yi or Yi, Ching, Chuan, Fa, GungFu. Yes, this is a system that I have developed, created, or it was sent to me by the gods, whatever you want to say. Nobody on earth has my kung fu. So, you came to learn my kung fu. Well, my kung fu also deals with Mary Hu Anna, the holy herb. We give libations to the ancestors instead of pouring water on the ground, or we used to pour beer on the ground back in the Black Assassin days. Libations. I was so busy trying to show the time, I forgot my opening. Magu Zian Sho, divine marijuana brings immortality. So, oh, it's so much to explain. Like, dude, why do you smoke on video? Let me see, why? I answered this question before, but I probably have to do it over and over again since I'm not famous. When I get rich and famous, then when I say something once, well, that would be twice. Once, then everybody would know it, you know what I'm saying? But right now, nobody know or care who this dude is. So, I have incorporated cannabis, which means both hemp and marijuana, whether you know it or not. Because, well, the smoking part I incorporated because I grew up in the Bronx. I was born in Harlem, grew up in the Bronx, then went back to Harlem to teach, and I've lived all over New York, and then I moved to Virginia, and I lived different places in Virginia, Richmond, and then I moved to Georgia, and I lived in different places in Georgia, and way before that, I moved out here in California, and I've been back and forth about 6 times. And even though I've been around wealthy people in their hoods, like the richest black neighborhood is like 10 blocks away. The richest black neighborhood in America. They even had a show about it on TV, Black Beverly Hills. Well, anyway, but I've always lived in the hood, and one thing I've noticed, so-called black people smoke what they call weed. Everybody. Well, not everybody, but do you think this is the biggest industry since the industry of industry just because nobody is smoking? People smoke herb. There's a reason why people smoke herb. Now, why have I incorporated besides that reason? Well, if you've been looking at anything called like news, you might have heard that this herb, not weed, is being made into medicine and is stopping Parkinson's disease and can't. They have this stuff called Rick Simpson oil. Look it up. You concentrate like a big ass thing like this of herb and concentrate it down to a little bit of liquid. And this stuff is curing cancer. See, I've been putting stuff out just to see what people, because nobody never even asked. I've been doing this for what, how many years? On Facebook, I've been putting out all kinds of information. And nobody still hasn't even asked me, like, yo, dude, why do you promote marijuana? No, dude, I'm coming at you on your level. Do you know where I can go with this stuff? We talking about elixirs of immortality, shit that keep you young and healthy. It's called, I guess I would call it Maguism. Magu Zianshu. Okay, Magu is a divinity. When I say divinity, just like in ancient Egypt, this Magu is the energy of the cannabis plant. It is not a being that we, oh my God, we don't worship things in my church. Ye are God, and all of you are the children of the Most High. Whole nother story. That's when we get that chat. Right now, we're talking about my GungFu. I'll say this over again too. We say GungFu because my Sifu teacher, or my Tai Chi teacher, is from Canton, and they have a different dialect. He's from the same place as Bruce Lee, and the whole idea of me creating a boxing system that incorporated so-called Asian martial arts started pretty much with Bruce Lee, and Muhammad Ali is my hero in that same era. Y'all can't even understand what it's like now that I understand it. Growing up with these people in real life, Muhammad Ali, Bruce Lee, y'all don't even know. So on the previous video, I talked about, and believe me, it's a lot more to get into. But now I'm on the thing of how DNA is mathematically connected with the I Ching. I Ching, not I Ching, Yi or Yi. And this guy made a model with the I Ching and the DNA codes, and they match up. You have 64 codons that match up with the 64 hexagrams. Now, this is the translation that I use by Ra'u Nefa Armin, because this leads into what I teach as far as per neter kemet, in the Kemetic part of the temple. Now, they go together because they're both both based on nature. Once you overstand what the heck you're looking at, you'd be like, why Egyptians uh, hieroglyphics have animal heads and bug heads and human body? Once you understand imagery, tut. So that's all. But the I Ching even makes it simpler as far as symbols, because they're just lines, broken lines, solid lines, and so they're still symbols, but they're universal because they're just lines. You don't like, I mean, there has to be some understanding, of course, but it's not like, oh, this is a black thing or a white thing, or, you know what I'm saying? It's like binary code. So anyway, um, so right now, these are the books that are like at the top of I Ching Dao Temple. So if you look down below, you on my YouTube page, you'll see it says Per Neter Kemet slash E or Yi Ching Dao Temple. So I've been putting this, so I showed you two of the books that kind of like is going to be the foundation of my GungFu, Yi Ching Chuan Fa, which means the fist of the what does my kung fu mean? The classic of fist change, because see, the first form is about the fist, but the hand, I put the 5 elements. I took it out from the Tai Chi, from the legs and feet, and I put them in the hands. And then I put the 8 trigrams in the legs and feet. And the 8 upper trigrams was already there from the Tai Chi. So all I did was, instead of using palms, we have fists too in the Wu style of Tai Chi. So I just incorporated fists in all of the movements, all of the 8 upper body movements. Twisted fist is heaven, this is fire, da 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 da. So I showed you these 2 books, DNA. Now, my form based on the first 8 trigrams of the Bagua, we gonna get into all that. I'm saying words that you might not understand. Based on those basic 8 movements from the Tai Chi, ward off, roll back, etc., I expanded the movements, like I said, putting the hexagrams in the legs. Now you have 8 stances in the legs and 8 powers, we call them, in the upper body. So, so now all I had to do was combine each of the 8 upper body movements with each of the 8 lower body movements, and you come up with 64 movements. So I look at myself and I'll be like, okay, wow. So I have, and the foundation is, well, in the legs is the Tai Chi, the GungFu, but the upper body is boxing. So you're not moving like this. Oh, I will move 1,000 pounds with 4 ounces. In about 64 years, you will, unless you grew up in China when your grandfather and mother and everybody is teaching you Tai Chi from when you was like that big. But over here, when you go to school, I started school at 25. 25. I'm already a man. So anyway, boxing was supposed to be a simple way for me to teach you how to defend yourself on the street. But when I combined it with the I Ching, so now 20 years later, actually it's time to come out. 2023 is about me. I have my, I've shown, I'm doing the other view now, but when I turn the camera around, y'all have seen the wall hanging of the form. I'm gonna do that better and make it color pictures, and that has a purpose. Because when you purchase my wall hanging, you'll be able to take the different pictures out of the different movements in the form, and you can change them around. The only two that don't change is the first two, the heaven and earth. Always start out the I Ching because it's heaven and earth, and we are in between. Da da da. It's about creation. But see, it's a form of no form. I have a form on the wall based on the I Ching, but the I Ching can change. This is why it's called the Book of Changes, and not the book of this is how shit is supposed to be every day, every day, every day, all day, all year, every day, all. No, dude, you have to change. See, I have beautiful teeth, right? And that shit change. So, next year, I'm working on it now. I realized, hey, wait a minute. I have a book. Me. My book. No. A book. But right now, my book. Look. Like this. Well, this is this one is all the handwritten stuff. Like, ain't nobody helping me, like, oh yeah, I'll give you some money to go get your book typed up. You understand? I have a book for my system. I'm not just talking. Talk. But no matter how much I do talk, this shit take money. And I got other shit to do, like pay rent and shit. Like you. You know, I have a workout program for my system. I have stuff. So now the stuff from the research that's printed, it still all has to be, when it's typed up and it all looks the same, letters and shit. So I have printed stuff over the years that I've collected, like, let me show this one. On this video, I'm taking my time. Well, this is one thing. In Chinese, they call it hit medicine. I don't even believe even Chinese traditional Kung Fu, GungFu schools even teach hit medicine. Hit medicine is the opposite of me hitting you and breaking you to fuck up. In other words, the Chinese have if I break your ribs, there's a medicine, herbal, exercises, etc., that will help heal your ribs. So if somebody beat me up, guess what? I go to the Chinese doctor, or I know shit my own self. I don't even think other styles have not as deep as the Chinese. It's just so you don't even know. That's just one little piece. You learn how to break people up. You learn how to heal what you just broke up. Oh, I'm sorry, dude. You shouldn't have robbed me. I'm sorry. I broke the fuck you up, and well, here's some medicine. Nah. Of course I'm crazy. You know how long it took to do all this shit? Well, I'm not gonna show you. You know, I can't show you everything because now I will show you this. I've shown my chalice, or you might call it bong, and I've developed a war bong and a peace bong, and it was gifted to me by a used to be so-called student, but he used to make them by hand, and that's going to be one of the skills that students learn in my GungFu. So this is the drawing of how I used to make videos of all this stuff. We used to light the bong with hemp string, and we have a ritual. So, but this was, his idea of the ritual. To them, it was about coughing, and when you coughed, all the mucus come out. You see, I'm not just talking about, oh, you dude, I'm high now. Now I'm creative, dude. No, it's let me reiterate. I didn't make this stuff up. I did not make cannabis spirituality. I didn't make that up. I didn't make this stuff up. I'm going to show you history. The marijuana in the Tao, the cannabis in the Tao, marijuana and hemp in the Bible, in the Magi. This thing is old. I'm not going to get into the details right now. The plant is not of this earth. So anyway, there goes some of the moves from. I kind of separate a form and call it Ma Fu, which deals with. It'll be like a kind of closed door part of the system. People who do or who are or who want to be into the use of the cannabis. This will be for us. Now the fist art, the I Ching Chuan Fa. There's a history in there of cannabis seed use and the I Ching from way, way, way the fuck back. Not that I made up. So, that's how I knew. This is not about, oh, you have to smoke marijuana. You might take shrooms. That's a whole nother trip. So, I just wanted to show. Ooh, that rhymes, Oh, this part. Now there they go. What's on the wall? My wall hanging. Now, like I said, all this stuff, everything I show is pretty much a prototype. Even in the book, it's like I cut and paste this over the years. So that's the form, and so that will be able to be practiced. But like I said, it will have pockets where you can change the form, and but what I found when you have a continuous form doing certain moves over and over again in internal GungFu, Tai Chi, etc., that's the thing that actually does changes within your body. Now, the other part is you mentally paying attention to the things going on inside of your body, as opposed to your everyday life. You like your eyes, the energy is going out. You're hearing things all day, especially in cities. So that's energy going out. And then, if you do something like this, you're talking a lot, so that's energy going out. But when you learn things like Tai Chi, you learn to draw the energy in. So as I said, in Tai Chi, you only have the 8 upper body movements, but then they only have what they say is 5 lower body movements. But unlike there are stances in the Tai Chi form that don't fit into the 5 elements. So that's a whole story by itself. So that's the form, and each of these movements is based on each of the 64 hexagrams. And each of the 64 hexagrams has a number and things that relate it to D. And here we go right here. I'm not making this shit up. I didn't write this book. DNA, 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 DNA. 64 codons, 64 hexagrams. This is the science of actual nature, not only my nature. DNA is what makes you, what makes me, me. Now, what am I saying? What if, you might have a little tiny piece or code missing in your DNA? Okay, here we go. Now, I believe by doing this form, if you have any damage in your DNA, not just doing the form, I got other stuff like music and stuff. But doing the form, paying intention inside yourself, etc., just like the Tai Chi healed me with only 8 moves. Think about this. Each form that I just showed you in my system is directly connected to one codon of DNA. You do the whole form, you have sent energy to every codon of DNA in your body. Now, if it's damaged, it's just physical. DNA is still physical, but beyond that, now we're getting into the energy that made the DNA and the codons and everything in the first place. It's an energy thing. Now you're drawing energy to each codon in your DNA. Now, it don't have to be a martial form. You don't have to do it as martial arts. Just like Tai Chi, you can do it, open your hands up. I close the hands for other reasons that deal with energy. But just do it like a Tai Chi form. You know what I'm saying? You can do it. You can do it like a fighting form. You can do it like a karate form. Those are called modes. Slow, fast, hard, with breath. Now the thing is, don't mix them all up. Whichever mode you do the form in, do that. You understand? And then if you're gonna do another mode, give yourself like 15 minutes, and then do that. There's a lot to explain about this system. I've changed up a lot of things from the Tai Chi. So it's not Tai Chi anymore, and it's not boxing anymore. It's literally a new thing, especially with all this I Ching stuff. And now this is originally where this hand came from. I didn't know nothing about Buddha and none of that stuff. We used to smoke joints. You roll up the paper, the herb in the paper, and you called it a joint. So when the joint get like that big, you hold it, before you hold it like this when it's big, but when it get down to the little nitty gritty joint, you like, you're holding like this. I was like, damn, this could be this is like years and years and years ago. My hair was black. I'm like, wow, this could be a kung fu system. I could stick you in the eyes with these fingers, and I could poke you with this, and then I could like pinch your nerve, like you roll a joint. I could pinch it. I was thinking all kind of crazy shit, and actually that don't sound too bad. But anyway, I have a book. So yeah, so that's where it started from. Well, that's what I was about to show. Then I found out years later that it's a mudra of Buddha. That's me. That's Buddha. And in the book I explain what it actually means. So like I said, and then I also base it on Margu. That's the image of Margu. She is the energy or spirit of the plant, not a real person that you bow down to. And when you say stuff, like om, that's not giving reverence to some being in space. Now, if you really want to learn about real beings in space, that's a whole nother story. So, all these things will be in the book, or are in the book. But, so after a bunch of years, I figured out that, okay, if I don't have the money, honey, and ain't nobody giving me the money, honey, you don't have, I'm a genius. You be thinking like, well, damn, where's your family? Why don't they didn't they know you've been a Marine, you've been a Kung Fu teacher, you've been a, what else I've been? I've been a photographer, you did everything you said you was going to do, and you can't find one person to support you. Now, if I was white, no, forget white. If I was Chinese, teaching what I teach, just the GungFu, I ain't got to teach nothing now. Nothing. I would be taken care of. The whole village take care of you because you're a teacher. You shouldn't have to work for $1. It's a concept. So, the one student who comes by every now and then, MC Sifu, that's his stuff, not mine. I am not a fighter. You may have noticed, I'm a lover. Well, I was a lover. No, I'm still a lover. I'm just a gray lover, like the Gray Panthers. Well, that's all his stuff. These are the things that he won, in martial art tournaments and all that. So he also gifted me the temple's first patch, and it's really a good work. The craftsmanship, because the patch is not like. But it's like Richard Pryor got like little feet. It's like little. It's like a prototype again. So I'm like, okay, it's too little. It should be a little bigger for me. Maybe I could put it on the. I'm like, maybe it will be like the Chinese movies where the royal person pulls out his badge. And people be like, oh, you are the smoking fish master or his student. Be like, yeah, dude, what? Yeah. This is from the street, for the street. Nick, now, I'll whip that ass, boy. So anyway, okay, I'm rambling now. Oh, one more thing. So, I done showed you my book. I have a book. I have a GungFu system. I showed you other people's books that correlate with what I'm putting together or have put together. I showed you we have our symbol system. But y'all seen the wall hanging. I should have. It's like 6 o'clock in the morning. I didn't feel like turning it around, turning the camera around so y'all could see the wall hanging that I made by hand. Everything pretty much right now is made by hand. When it gets to be rich and famous, then you know what I'm saying, it'll be made in a factory. Oh, so see, that's a whole nother part by itself. Now, this is the concept. I have my own GungFu system, which means I can have my own uniforms. Matter of fact, one of the brothers that stay here now and then, he has the equipment, but he's sitting on it because he's trying to build money right now, right? But he has the equipment to make this stuff. No, I'm talking about machines that weigh tons. He's paying for a warehouse right now because neither one of us have the money. I'm like, let's take all that stuff to land, but that's money. But he has these machines that make t-shirts. I mean, that soda shit. That I got a couple of little ones right here that's going to be able to print stuff on it. So we have our own we have to have our own uniforms. This is my system. Then that means we have to make our own shoes. We have to make our own weapons. I'm like, oh my goodness. Do you realize what you can do with a 3D machine and hemp, the filament that go in a 3D machine? It could be made from hemp. Hemp is the brother of marijuana. And what's in my hand right there? These are my handmade cards. So with the wall hanging of my system, and of course I haven't done them yet, but the next thing is start working on the videos, the training videos, because we're going to be able to certify you as an instructor in 10 months. That's a whole nother video. But these right here I made like years ago, and you probably could look at the first top card and see that it was years ago. But anyway, this is the form on cards. Hey, that's the first move. But the cards are, the information on the back of the card comes from the magical I Ching. So the cards are like the esoteric, is it esoteric? The inner stuff. So the I Ching that I showed you before that I use regularly is like the regular I Ching, but these are based on the magical I Ching. So it gets into the, each hexagram has a flower, for instance, a color, etc. But after I made the cards, I realized it was like one of those old-fashioned things. I'm like, wow, that's fucking cool, man. Like, look at me. That's me. I cut and paste each of those pictures and wrote on the back of each of these cards each of the different meanings of the hexagrams. I ain't had shit else to do. So this is what came out of it. So when these, get professionally printed up and stuff, these will be for purchase also. Now, I do have a church. It's called the Church of Divinity. I just use the ancient Kemetic name Per Neter Kemet, but I can't use that according to IRS rules. So you have to say church. So of course I didn't want to say church because you will only hear me say Jesus now and then. So I don't teach Jesus or Yahshua, none of that. Well, that's totally not true. But I teach self-development, GungFu, Qigong. Purchase my Qigong home training video, Mel-O. I'll have to start remembering to put links of all this stuff. So that's pretty much it. This is the first time that I know of that are black. Okay, look, this is black. This is black. This is black. This is brown. Now, there are people who come close to this, but when you get down with like a microscope, you're going to see it's just brown. Like, well, I can't use my hair anymore. I forgot. My hair is white. But it used to look black, but it's actually just brown, just like really, really condensed into, the more it gets closer, the more it looks black. But if you leave this out in the sun, have you ever done that? Or just sat out in the sun like I used to on the beach? Your black clothes turn brown. Now everybody, white, Chinese, if you wouldn't be living if you wasn't carbon-based. Carbon, the numbers for carbon is 666. Oh, I wonder where the Bible got that from. 6 protons, 6 neutrons, and 6 electrons make up carbon. But melanin is also copper. That's where we're getting brown. That's where sometimes you might see a baby born with a green patch. Sometimes you go back and look at the different gods, the deities, and they're painted green or maybe blue. There's a reason behind that. It's called copper. You know how you have copper and it starts to oxidize and it starts to turn green and shit on the outside? As we breathe air. Well, I'm not going to get into all that science right now. I've way over what I wanted to talk about. So, that is a basic introduction to Yi Ching Chuan. I'm going to get more. I'm going to get up off my ass and get a little more physical. It's been like since Corona. It's like when you my age, and then Corona. I've been on this dag nabbit laptop just doing all this stuff that I'm talking about now. So now it's like all coming out, and all my stuff, is on the land. I literally moved out of this house, moved my stuff up to the land, my books and everything. But I have enough right now to talk about. But actually, at the end of the month, I'm gonna run up there and go get my stuff and start making some real videos, and hopefully start making some damn money too. Because I need teethuses, I need young women to give me some energy. No, I need young. Go study Tao. I'm out. Peace. Yeah, I forgot. Not this way. I don't want to be like. So we do it this way. Does that mean the same thing? Well, anyway, peace. Find the damn button over here.